Now, yesterday's teacher strike, how much did we lose as far as productivity went? Not only did it disrupt our lives a bit, you know, about where you're putting your kids and where you aren't.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people would have had to stay home and look after kids they couldn't get into care.
I've got Scott Driscoll on the line, Executive Director of the National Retailers Association. Hey, Scott, how you going?
G'day, Jamie.
What did we lose, you know, productivity-wise? How do you address that?
Jamie, it's difficult to put a real dollar figure on it yet, but I can say anecdotally it's pretty big because I had members right across Queensland yesterday calling me and sort of saying that, look, a combination of probably bad roads in the southeast, but certainly the impact of the teachers' strike, when people were taken a little bit unawares, probably didn't plan for their kids being looked after as well as they might have liked, you know, ringing up to say they can't make it, and in some cases not ringing in at all, so it puts businesses in a really difficult position.
Oh, I see what you're saying, the workers themselves.
Yeah, look, I mean, we're all human. We all accept these things happen, and unfortunately, when industrial strikes occur, as it did with the teacher strike yesterday, the business, the retailer, in our case, is left without the human resources they'd normally open their shops with. And you know, we saw this sort of threat. It didn't get to the same stage as the teacher strike yesterday, but in recent times, with the transport union threatening to pull on strikes, all of these sorts of things, though, unfortunately, when industrial action is carried out or threatened, has a real big flow-on effect to the retail sector, which is the biggest employer in Queensland and in Australia, for that matter.
So does it matter? Like a lot of these employees obviously are women and mothers at home. Does it happen like when kids are sick? Obviously you'd see the same thing, wouldn't you? That they have to stay home and look after the kids.
Yeah, you do. You do, but you don't necessarily see it on such a mass scale as this is yesterday, because all parents or parents of state school kids yesterday in the same predicament all at once, and that en masse is an impact that the retail sector in this period of economic downturn does not need.
Yeah, and they're threatening more of the same. How do you feel about that?
Jamie, it's not helpful. I mean, I understand what teachers go through. I come from a family full of teachers, so I'm not unsympathetic to the difficulties their job presents. But look, I just encourage teachers to see themselves as part of the broader community in all of this, because certainly these actions do have a very strong negative flow-on effect. You know, and I'd certainly encourage the Queensland government to stay around that table until a resolution is reasonably brought about, so that we don't, as a community and as the extended industrial sector in retail, certainly doesn't have to go through what we went through yesterday again. And
did you see, on another note, did you see the guy that went surfing on his sick days in the paper yesterday? He took sick days and he entered a surfing competition. He took sick days because he had a bad back and ended up, you know, competing in the Coolum Classic. And he won his case too. The employer still had to pay him.
Yeah, look, I think there's a lot of people, particularly on the Sunshine Coast and the Gold Coast, who on good days think the surfing is a very good therapy for all sorts of illnesses. So we in the retail sector put up with that all of the time.
Well, you know, on the Sunshine Coast, you can see tradesmen going to work with a ladder and a surfboard, just in case it gets up.
Exactly, and depends, you know, whether the sun comes out and waves are up. You're dead right.
All right, well, that was Scott Driscoll, Executive Director of National Retailers Association. Thank you very much, Scott.
Thanks, Jamie.
7:21.